Hello and welcome to this episode of Almost Tactical. Today we are going to be talking about the Athlon Argos BTR 8-34 by 56. It is an illuminated reticle with a ATMR front focal plane MOA. So this baby right here, can't show it to you yet. This thing costed me $389 before taxes. So there's a few reasons why I bought this, and we will get to it right up. But before we get started, if you have not subscribed or really seen any of the videos I advise, so feel free to subscribe right now, and don't forget to like. And there's going to be a lot of these videos coming up. I just haven't had a lot of time. So anyhow, let's continue. Alright, the scope. Let's get back to it. So I've already opened this, so it doesn't look brand new anymore. So the first thing that we have is instruction manual, instruction sheet. Call it whatever you want. Full of goodies. It does come with a cleaning cloth and a baggie with an Allen wrench and plastic washers, and we'll get to that here in just a minute. None of this matters anymore. This scope came with a battery. I already took it out the baggie and installed it in here. It is an illuminated reticle, so that's what this is for. Anyhow. Alright, so when I first pulled this out of the box, my first impressions were, man, this thing is big, man, it's bulky, and it's a little heavy. That's not necessarily a bad thing, but we shall see, I guess, how it performs, right? It does come with these flip-up protectors. I'm not sure what they're called, but covers, lens covers, there you go. Which are pretty cool. I'm probably going to remove them because I'm going to have a sunshade, supposedly. I already ordered it, just going to take forever to get here. There is a side focus here, which I think it's kind of useless. I've never had focus issues with any of my scopes, but then again, I've never shot past 200-300 yards, so I'm not sure if that's ever going to become an issue. But yep, here you go. It's a focus ring and your turrets, and then your magnification ring. I love these turrets. They seem really solid, and listen to this. I like it. I like it a lot. They don't have any play in them. The clicks aren't very small, which I like. I feel like if they were too small, you can easily make small adjustments. I'd rather them be kind of big like this. My Nikon P223, the clicks they feel like thumps. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but anyways, these are nice. So a few reasons why I bought this specific scope right here is the price point, which we'll get to here in a little bit, I guess. But I have friends who recommended me Athlon. They said they're good and affordable, and all their stuff is good. So, and then all the online reviews, nothing but good stuff. So anyways, this was what I consider a quality budget long range scope. And by that I mean $300 to $500. I mean, I wouldn't spend more than that. It's just not my lifestyle. At least not to that extent. Anything under 300, you can get, like, let's say your budget is 100 or 150. There's plenty of good optics out there. But yeah, if you're talking about something that is kind of designed for the distance, I would definitely pick something like this. $400, you can't beat that. Obviously, I haven't used it yet, so we are yet to see how it's going to perform. So anyways, the price, the recommendations, and the third thing was the zero stop, which is one of the biggest reasons why I bought this. So in case you've never sighted and zeroed in a scope, you obviously have to adjust your windage and your elevation. Make sure your bullets are landing where you want them. So once that's all said and done, you unscrew this screw that's up here with the included Allen wrench. And what this is for is, obviously you're not going to land back at zero. You're going to land at whatever crazy number it lands on. So you pull this turret off, and there is, I'm not sure if you can see, but there's a washer right there. Or I can't think right now, but that deal right here, man, I can't believe I can't remember. Gasket. That gasket right there, I'm sorry. This gasket right here, it needs to come off as well. I'm not going to take it off. But what you do is, once you zero it, make sure you don't, once you zero it, when you're taking this off, you have to hold the turret because it will turn on you. So keep that in mind. But you put enough, let's see if you can see this. You put enough washers in here to fill this gap that's right here. And I don't know whatever that is, 3, 4, 5. But you fill up the gap. And once you fill the gap up, I don't know exactly how many it's going to take, but my friend sent me pictures of his, and his was ever so slightly past the housing right here. So once you do that, what you're going to want to do, and you got to be really careful with all of this, that line down the middle, that is where you're going to want to line up your zero. Just like that. This is not going to focus, so yeah, it's not going to focus. But anyways, you line up your zero and make sure it's all the way pushed in, which it is. And then you're going to want to screw this back up. Screw it up, screw it, and make sure you hold this once it gets tight. Hold it, because if not, it will move on you. Like, you'll see. See that? So make sure you hold it. Make sure you hold it. Just give it a nice snug fit. It doesn't have to be super tight. You don't want to damage anything. You don't want to super glue that on there either. And there you go. So what would happen is, if you know your dope or how much you have to adjust for, say, 300, 500 yards, whatever you're shooting, you go ahead and do that. And then, all right, I'm ready to go back to 100 yards for whatever reason. See how it's going to go past the zero, but you'll get this mushy feeling. Said, oh, I must have reached my zero. So then you just return it back to the zero. It's not going to allow you to go maybe 2 or 3 clicks past that. So yeah, it's not a perfect zero stop where it's automatically going to stop there, but it will not let you go any lower than wherever your zero's at. So keep that in mind. Oh, and real quick before I move on, the only complaint that I can give is this magnification adjustment. In my opinion, it is way too stiff. Obviously you can't see the force I'm putting into it, but I mean, for what it is way too stiff. None of my scopes have ever been this stiff. It is a challenge to turn it. I am not sure why they made it like that, but that really, really made me sad. I've had situations where I'm hunting and I need to go from 3x to 12 in a heartbeat, and this is going to be a big issue. They do make a clip-on, I'm not sure what the proper term is, but some deal that attaches to here and has at least ½ an inch of extension, and it's supposed to make it a whole lot easier. I'm not sure why they made it like that. It could be for the weatherproofing. I don't know. All I know is that I don't like at all. So just keep that in mind. You know, I'm not sure if it's all of them, but at least for this one, this is way too tough. The last thing that I want to mention, this is going on my 223 Wild build while the 6.5 Creedmoor is complete. So I tried to install it the other day with the 30mm high mount scope rings that I had bought, and when I mounted it, the bottom of this piece right here was ever so slightly touching the Picatinny rail on the upper. It just made me feel really uncomfortable, and I didn't like it. So I returned them, and I had to buy these Burris Extreme Tactical extra high mounts. So if you're going to be putting one of these scopes on an AR platform, I highly suggest and recommend getting extra high. These are expensive. I think I paid $60 to $65 for. That's kind of expensive to me, even though with previous experiences, don't cheap it out too much on scope rings. Trust me, I've missed a buck before because of a scope ring failure, which I have a video on here that nobody's watched. So you don't want to risk whatever your intent is for cheap scope mounts. Trust me on that. I'm not saying go and buy the $400 scope mounts and put it on your $200 scope. You know, we got to be a little realistic, but you're putting this much time and effort on a quality build. Don't cheap it out with the rings. Get something affordable, but don't cheap it out too much. Trust me, I'll be doing you a favor. And that about sums it up. The last thing that I wanted to comment was another part that I bought for my 6.5 Creedmoor that's going to be going on this 223 Wild AR-15 that I have is a CMC trigger 2.5 pound. And let me tell you, the thing is amazing. I've tried many different triggers from a friend who has all these crazy stuff, from the Geisleys to you name it, and I've never felt one. Me personally, I've never felt one as light and as crisp as that CMC. It's just amazing. I'm not paid advertisement. It's just give it a try. If you're ever in the market for a trigger, I mean, I paid $170 or $180 for it, and I don't regret it one bit. I've had nothing but mil specs personally, because I thought triggers were kind of a waste of money. That trigger is amazing. It has zero travel, and as soon as you put force on it, it breaks. It's amazing. It really is. Anyhow, so yeah, like I said earlier, if you like this kind of content, feel free to subscribe, ask questions, leave a comment, like the video. I am going to have a lot of other interesting things coming up. I just haven't had a lot of time, because in order to afford this stuff, I kind of have to work a lot. So yeah, thumbs up, and stay tuned for a bunch of other projects I got going on. Like the 6.5, I want to make a whole video on the 6.5 Creedmoor. The thing's taking a whole lot more money and work than I've anticipated. And that's because you're going to get to a point where it's like, hey, should I buy the cheap stuff and finish the build now? Or should I just wait, save the money, and buy the good stuff so I don't have to upgrade later? That's kind of where I'm at now. So anyhow, stay tuned for all that good stuff. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.